Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old-school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.
Background music and ambience brought to you in part by Midnight Syndicate. Music for the imagination and the perfect musical accompaniment for the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
In a world that is not what it seems, and where people are not whom they appear to be, where puns run rampant through the streets, and it's hard to tell who the real monsters are. Three villains work to tear the world of Euphrey asunder, and to find new ways to terrorize Tim and Terry. Welcome to A Fool's Quest, Villains. Now, let's join the drow rogue Ayda, the gladiator bard Francis the Lion, and the rogue warlock Hesh von Eggars, as they conspire together to thwart the progress of those gag-me fools. Beware, there be villains here.
You all are camping now on the side of a road outside of... Fuck, where's the map? Hold on. Damn it.
Dioterrus or some shit.
Well,
You lost the map? Was that Blair Witch, right?
I kicked that fucking map in the river.
Yeah.
You lost the map, oh my god.
Okay, so you all are camping now. It is late into the night, early morning. You are somewhere on the road between Dioterrus and Eldisar. Reflecting on the events of the evening, you recall such instances as Ayda meeting Ivana Godeep and visiting her room, and seeing her ID, taking her sweatshirt, and pushing her into a tavern full of fire and dying people. Francis, you remember multiple sessions of poetry and limericks and blocking a door to keep people from escaping a burning building where a give or take 70 to 80 people were caught in a burning inferno.
Two doors.
Yes. Two doors, as you had to run to the back and help Hesh block the other one as he pretended to be Ingvald. And Hesh, you remember putting on such a masterful performance for a great many 70 to 80 kids inside this tavern, where you built up the excitement only to burn it to the ground with a darkness spell and some oil from your bag. Now, one
and
by
the
one,
spark of their potential.
you guys all remember standing just outside the door watching it burn before you all ran your separate ways to get to this point right now. So let's think back one at a time. What got you there? Ayda, what got you from the point where you were standing staring at the door to right at this campsite now tonight?
I was trying to figure out what a drow was, and I met a woman named Ivana Godeep, which happens to be the name of the person I'm impersonating as part of their family, as Ima, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to use that to my advantage.
After the building was caught fire, but before you left town, you ran back to Ivana's room, right?
Yeah, I kind of ransacked it of all of her valuables.
Yeah, so you have a whole inventory full of fancy wardrobe, college kid, student clothes. Is there anything else that you stole while you were there?
Trousers saying juicy on them.
Tasty on the butt.
Tasty on the butt.
Those are
Actually
my
has that whole
favorite
phrase
Tasty.
printed on the butt.
Tasty on the butt.
Shit, what was it?
What did you do after the building caught on fire?
Ransacked her room. Before the building caught on fire, though, I stole her vault key, hoping to lead to some nice fortune there.
Yeah, potentially to the Go Deep Vault.
Yes.
Yeah. Francis, the lion, the building was on fire, and you were standing next to your two comrades, your murderers in arms. What did you do right after?
Well, friends, we've done it. We've burned this inn. Maybe next time they won't have such a garish red fence. I convinced them that because it's night and we need to move quickly, I should ride the mule, since they can both see in the dark. And then, yeah, just relax while they led me along. Ruminating, humming a mournful tune, you know.
Sounds about right. And Hesh?
Hesh is extremely distracted as Francis is convincing him that he should ride the mule, even though Hesh paid for it, but it was with Francis's money. So it doesn't matter. He's just freaking out because as they're going away, Hesh is in a hurried pace as small tendrils of black, inky type tendrils are feel like they're coming out of his eyes. And when he tries to bat them away, then his fingers look like they're just these kind of flopping tendrils of black ichor, and they seem to slap him in the face a few times. He's oh, what is that? I was like, Francis, you see this? It's as he's freaking out, Francis is actually unable to see any sort of difference outside of for the next 4 to 5 minutes of them fleeing the town. Him just kind of spasming at his face and slapping his own hands while pulling the mule along.
Well, Francis can't see anything because he doesn't have dark vision.
Right.
So
Yes.
So
I can't see much, Hesh. I don't see well in the dark. And I don't want to draw attention with a light, so wait till we're at camp. It's probably just some bed bugs or something. Anyway, why did we just murder all those people?
We didn't. And Ingvald did.
So we just murdered
Gag me
70 or 80 people just to give Gag me a bad name.
Is awful. They're terrible. Why would they do this?
I agree.
Can't believe
I'm
this.
okay with this.
Tell me where I'm going blind, man, because I have tendrils in my eyes.
I don't see well at night.
I think it's this way.
Okay, so the wisdom modifier kicks in for all of you, and you realize that you should probably be quiet until you get to the campsite. So fast forward 4 hours down the road. You're sitting around your campsite. You've actually put together a small camp. You've eaten some of the rations that you've got, and yeah, so you are camping just off the road. And it does not appear that anyone has followed you. So, winding down for the night. Didn't really have time to put up tents or anything like that, but you do have your bedrolls out and bellies full and getting ready. What do you guys do?
So, Ayda, I suppose I understand Hesh's motivations for our little game back there, but why did you shove that girl into the fire?
I had no intentions of that until she took me back to her room. Being the nosy little person I am, I dug through her clutch and I noticed her last name was Go Deep. That's a bit of a problem since Ima is actually not real.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I made her up. I knew the name.
Wait, but she put on bets.
I've met Ima Go Deep.
You have.
I saw her in that crowd, and that was you?
Yes. That was me.
Oh. I guess that's why you look so much like her.
Yeah. She could have
I didn't
spelled a
catch it.
lot of trouble for me. They know I'm not real.
So is this
I
going to
suppose
be
they
like
would.
a recurring thing then? Anytime we see them?
It could be a problem.
We'll make sure it isn't. I mean,
They're influential people, and I don't want them breathing down my neck.
yes, we'll make sure it's not a problem. But hopefully not by burning down an inn every time we encounter one. From what I understand, it's a rather large family, but
Inns just come out of nowhere. They're dangerous.
that's
things.
true. There's inns all over.
I just like to imagine that as Ayda is telling you guys this, she takes off her glasses and puts her hair down and shakes it out like a 1990s teen romp, and she's like a whole different person. Like, oh my god, now I see it.
Oh, you're not wearing those paint-covered overalls anymore.
That'll do it.
Like,
I have to be
Superman.
honest. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm actually an escaped slave, and I'm just making my way out. So she was my way out, and now, anytime we encounter that Go Deep name, we have to be careful.
Was it the Go Deeps that had you as a slave?
No, that's just a persona I made up. I knew the Go
Oh.
Deep name. I knew they were rich. I knew they could give me ins. But now I don't know how far that's gonna go.
Well, we've got your back.
Yeah. What about those who had you as a slave? Are they going to be an issue? Is that going to be something we want to address later?
I pull my hair away from my eyes, and you guys can see the goldenrod tattoo,
Oh,
and you know.
yeah. I haven't seen that since I was up north. It's just a sad situation. Hesh has heard of the goldenrods, right?
Yep, you all have heard of the
So
goldenrods.
like the goldenrods.
The goldenrods.
Well,
They enslaved me when I was about 8, and that's why I
Add 'em
don't
to the
know.
list.
Yep.
add it to the list.
I know nothing about the drow because I've been a slave the whole time. So Ivana was very handy in giving me some background information on who I am and who I should be.
Yeah, she was straight fire.
She was lit.
That whole party was lit as fuck. I throw the best parties. We throw the best parties.
Too bad we couldn't enjoy it. We had to run away.
I enjoyed it.
is on fire.
I enjoyed it immensely. It was
Yes.
one of the better parties I've been to.
We killed it.
Slay, queen, slay.
I fucking laughed too hard. I didn't mean to laugh that loud.
Okay.
And I hand you both I'm sorry notes.
I don't know.
Spark up my doobie and take a nap.
Francis, where are we heading to next?
On to
Hammer Post, right?
Hammer Post. Isn't there like a ferry or whatever over a ship to get us to Pharaoh's expedition?
Yeah, you need to go. So you're going southeast right now. You're going southwest down the road, which will take you through the ruins of Eldisar, and then you're gonna go down from there to Zendikar, and Zendikar is where you can take a ship across the Velkin Straits over to either Hammer Post or to Pharaoh's expedition base camp.
So we're going down to the coast here to take a ship. Few more days, I should think.
Yeah. I left a note. She's sleeping. I left a note. It said, Ingvald was here. I hope that made it. After the cinders and such.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Little calling card.
Yes.
Alright.
And, I mean, I'm sure not everyone who saw you in town and heard about your party was at your party.
Ingvald's.
Ingvald's. Well,
Yeah.
yes, Ingvald's party.
We'll just call it
In fact, I turned a couple of fellows away after I tied the door.
Yeah. It's exclusive. Not everybody can die.
In a fire.
In a fire. I'm gonna hit the head, and by that I mean the hay, because it wasn't up until not too long ago that tiny tendrils were spewing out of my eyes. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you said something about that. I'm still not sure what it means.
Still can't see it.
But sleep well.
Thank you.
Most likely kill you in the morning. Just kidding.
Okay.
Ada's gonna wake up after about an hour.
Okay. Yeah. So you all get short rests. Not full long rests, but you get short rests to recover whatever you can recover with that.
I have no idea.
You didn't use any spells, so you're good. And you didn't take any damage, so you're also good.
Am I back up to full?
Yeah, I would say you're back up to full. Yep.
I used a spell.
Okay.
But I didn't use my inspiration, which I had planned on, but I forgot.
Alright, cool. So you guys continue travel. And you make it to the dwarven ruins of Eldisar. And the ruins are a desolate place. There are no inhabitants, just the old ruins spread around. Just gonna keep saying ruins over and over again. A cemetery of stone housing made from the mountain that the city rests on stretches for miles down the gray landscape. Many of the structures appear to have lasted through centuries, but the location is still harsh and cold. Throughout the ruins, there are old aboleth statues erected and crumbled. There are other statues as well of unknown creatures, but seemingly oceanic in nature. If you were to give feedback about this place to people that asked, you would say that it is an inhospitable town, and you would not recommend it to anyone passing through. Well, at least, not if you wish well on them.
We might.
You might do that still. So, kind of think of it like where Frodo is in that town and he is confronted by the ring race, and they're like, on that bridge,
Oh, and then he almost eats the ring.
Yes. Yes. And it's holding a ring. Yep, that's the one.
What's this town called?
This is the Dwarven Ruins of Eldisar.
So with these aboleth and seemingly horrendous oceanic creatures, Hesh would actually stop and really take a look at them.
Yeah.
Finding a familiarity with them.
Okay.
And then maybe even doing a quick etch. Just for his own. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something for him to remember. Because he does have keen mind, but it only lasts so long.
Yeah. So you actually stop to take multiple sketches. So as you're traveling through this town, this old ruins of Eldisar, Ayda and Francis, you realize that more and more frequently as you're traveling, Hesh seems to start lagging behind. And Hesh, you don't really recognize that you're doing it. A couple times you do take sketches and stuff like that, so you call out that you're doing it. But more and more, your pace starts to slow down. You keep feeling this tugging sensation that, is kind of bearing down on you. Feeling almost exhausted without being tired. And you don't recognize that you keep losing sight of Francis and Ayda, but they have to keep stopping and even a few times coming back to make sure that you're following behind them.
Every time they do, too, he acts indignant. Yeah, I know, I'm coming. Yes, I know.
Right, yeah. You fully do not comprehend what is happening in your head at all. And Francis and Ayda, what are you guys thinking?
Hesh, are you feeling okay?
I feel fine. Are you feeling all right?
I'm...
You've been on a mule this whole time.
Here, how about you take a ride for a little bit?
Okay.
Did you sneak into my kush?
Study some of
Did you
these.
sneak into my kush?
Look, I respect a woman's boundaries, and not without consent.
You're acting a little slow.
Yes, hop up on old Bestina here.
Classic. Old Bestina.
Old Bestina.
Seen us through many. Do we have food for this motherfucker?
Probably not. It hates that name anyway.
It hates that name. Yeah, so I'm gonna but sit on it like a lady.
Side saddle.
Side saddle.
Yeah, the whole time.
Like a lady.
Like a lady.
Cross your legs and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead And let's do this. So you're riding side saddle, and you start to doze and fall asleep midday before you guys really even stop for a midday meal. Ayda and Francis, you guys are walking along, and you notice now that the mule is starting to get a little bit more slower paced and slower steps as well. And you are, I assume one of you guys are leading it once you notice that Hesh is starting to fall asleep. But you got to kind of tug it along and motivate it to keep moving throughout the afternoon. Give me perception checks from Francis and Ayda.
While they're doing that, can I also say that when Hesh falls asleep, he is reverse straddled and face down by the rump.
Okay.
Like arms folded like a pillow.
A little bit of drool coming out.
Yeah, well, on the rump.
Yes. All right, what'd you guys get for your perception?
15.
8.
Hey, okay. So Ayda, will say you're pulling the mule and having a hell of a time with it as the afternoon.
I pull out a carrot and try to coax it. Come on, Bestina.
Yeah, exactly. And Francis, you recognize, looking down, you guys are coming kind of cresting one of the hilly areas of the city, and you realize that this city sprawls out for quite a while, and you are not going to make it out of the city by nightfall. And so it's still midday right now, but with that in mind, you're going to want to start scouting ahead around dinner time for an actual secure place to camp.
Yeah. So it's a ruined city, is it? I mean, are there buildings standing still, or is it all just like foundations and the occasional wall or chimney? Or
for the most part, it's the latter, but there have been one or two fully constructed buildings, with the exception of some holes in the ceiling that they give a little bit of light to the sky. But I mean, there are some almost 95% completed buildings that you pass maybe one every other hour.
Okay. So listen, Ayda, I don't think we're going to make it out of the city by nightfall. I think we're going to be camping here. So keep an eye out for anywhere that looks safe to camp in. I'd like to have a roof over our heads, if we can manage it.
Okay, so both of you roll survival checks.
Hesh is lightly snoring.
I'm an 11.
I also rolled an 11.
Okay, with an 11, you find an abandoned structure that has no ceiling on it at all, and is 3 full walls, but the front wall where the front door would be has been kind of blasted outward. So you can have defenses on 3 sides, but not all 4 sides, and not a complete camp. You find this right around dinner time, so the sun is starting to go down. In the mountains, the timing is a little bit different just because of the geography and the elevation of different spots. So the sun kind of sets a little bit earlier than normal for your biological clocks. But Hesh wakes up and is absolutely starving when you guys find this location.
Good Lord.
Well, this looks like as good a spot as any.
Spot for what? I am famished.
I thought we'd set up camp and, bed down in that building there. Or what's left of it.
Get my pack out and grab some rations. Start eating.
Why are you so hungry? Are you sure you didn't get into my kush? You took a long-ass nap, now you're hungry.
I don't imbibe all that.
And what did you do to the mule?
What did the mule do to me? I was riding it. What do you mean? With the chicken and the egg, I don't know what answer you want. But I'm going to eat this dried ration situation. And then I'm going to eat another one. And there's nothing you can do about it.
And so you guys stop, and the mule actually curls up on the ground and goes right to sleep. Middle of the day, uncomfortable ground area, just so tired from carrying you down this mountain, just passes right the fuck out.
Curls up like a cat.
Yep, curls up like a cat. Mule tail is tucked.
I'd like to think that Hesh wasn't off it when it did this, and it just like
Trapped your
flops,
leg.
and then now Hesh is off of it.
That is exactly what happened.
Laying there and kneading the ground with its hooves.
It does the circles to make a
Yeah.
nest, and then lays down. Oh my
Purrs
God.
quietly.
Don't you love it when mules purr?
It's the theater of the mind, everyone. All right. So you guys bust out your rations and dinner time and get ready for camp.
Yep.
We're out of the city by now.
No, it's quite a ways to go yet before we're out of the ruins here. So,
You were holding up the party.
I don't think that's accurate, because I was on the mule, and Bestina.
Bestina.
That doesn't
That's what I
sound right.
said.
That doesn't sound right.
Look, that's how she pronounces it. I didn't make it up.
She was carrying me, so if she didn't want to carry me, it's her fault for dragging behind. How far do we have to go?
A few more hours. We should be out around midday tomorrow.
All right. So, I mean, the feel of this place is very eerie. It obviously is taxing the most on Hesh, but Ayda and Francis, as night starts to come, you can feel that dark vibe energy kind of creeping throughout the landscape. As the sun goes down and the shadows begin to fall along the mountain, landscape, it feels more like a cemetery of a dead city than just a city. So what do you do to prepare for the evening for sleep? Are you guys setting watches? Are you doing any kind of alarm stuff? Or
You
what
setting
does
up
that look
your
like?
bells?
Yeah, I can do that after I put this tent up by me and old Betsarama. So I'm gonna set the tent up like over the mule.
Okay.
And with enough space for me.
Yeah, Bestina doesn't even get up. She is snoring noisily.
I don't have the alarm bell, so that was a silver thread that I had prepared as an alarm spell, and I don't have that prepared anymore. So good luck.
Okay.
I'm gonna crawl into the tent. Am I still tired?
Yeah, you're still tired.
Okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna crawl into the tent after it's all set up, and I've eaten my 2 days worth of rations, and I'm going to lay in there and fall asleep.
Okay, so so you start laying down and you're falling asleep. Ayda and Francis, you guys just watch him just peace out. Like, he woke up and he was cranky like a child that woke up with a cold, So he's super freaking cranky, and then he just pieces out and leaves the security detail to you guys.
So who wants to babysit Hesh?
Oh, I'll go first.
Alright, I kind of want to scout. This place doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. There's something off.
I kind of want to
Don't
look
go.
around and see if we can figure out what the hell it is.
Don't go far.
Not planning on it.
Hesh, as you lay down, you start to close your eyes, but then you open them slightly and roll me a perception check.
15.
A 15?
Yep.
Okay, with a 15, you see outside of the housing structure that you're in, past the tent, purple tendrils slither behind one of the far rocks and disappear behind an old structure.
Okay.
The tendrils that you
big?
large, like probably the tendril that you see the most of. So you see 3 tendrils, the tips of 2, and then one really large one that's about 3 feet long is the longest one that you see. These are the tendrils that you typically see on yourself. You've never seen them separated from your own body. So it disappears behind a rock.
Like on all fours, but not on my knees, like on tippy toes and on hands. I'm going to scurry out of the tent. Don't give a damn if it falls out, if I wreck anything. Scurry out and try and scuffle toward Francis to see if I can see him anywhere. And as soon as I see him, grab him by the bag or grab him by the, something.
As soon as you
Something
grab
in
him, Roll a Constitution save, a DC 14.
Ayda, before you go, I'm going to give you a Bardic Inspiration die, just in case you need it.
I failed.
You failed? Okay, so just as you grab his leg to say something, you open your mouth, and the exhaustion takes you, and you fall back asleep. Just like you did on the ass of the mule as you were walking.
Ass of the ass.
Yep. And Francis, you feel your right leg, the leg that he crawled over and grabbed. You watched Hesh lay down. In the process of laying down, he starts crawling at you like a weird animal, grabs your leg, and then passes out. But your leg gets that tingly feeling, like it's starting to fall asleep when he puts his hand on you.
Is he still holding my leg?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take a step back.
Okay, so you take a step back and
Ew.
you feel the circulation start to warm your leg again.
That's disturbing. I'm going to, haul him up by the armpits and drag him back into his tent.
Okay, so you reach down and grab him willingly, and you don't feel that sleepy feeling anywhere else. But he does feel heavier than you figured he might at this point.
It was the 2 days rations. It went straight to my thighs.
This guy needs to poop.
MRE's constipated.
So you lay him back where he was attempting to lay down last you knew, and he is just snoozing away, lightly snoring.
I'm going to keep an eye on him from nearby. Also, from, the one wall that's missing. Keep an eye that way.
All right, so Ayda, you are scouting. Let me pull up those things real quick.
I don't like the sound of that. Those things.
Nope.
Okay, so you are scouting. So make first a stealth check, and then second a survival check.
12 for the stealth.
Okay.
And then you said survival?
Yep.
You have Bardic Inspiration as well.
Yeah. What does that do?
You can just
I can
roll
add
that
it?
die.
You add the...
it to your roll.
Yep. You add the D8 to
I
your-
rolled a 1 to begin with. Don't I roll again?
Yeah, you roll a 1. Yep, re-roll to see if it's another 1. Okay, so you're good. So
And I can do as inspiration for the survival. I don't want to die. So, 12. Yeah, 12.
1 plus, yeah.
okay. All right. So what does scouting look like for you? You branch out into this old ruins where you get this creepy feeling. You see Hesh doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I would go around. I saw him, kind of come out.
Yeah, we'll say you saw him come
So
crawling.
he would have
after.
been crawling toward whatever he saw.
Yeah, you were walking away, and you're on listen mode, right? You're trying to scout some
Yeah.
stuff out, and you hear him scuffling over toward Hesh.
So I look over and I see the direction he's looking, at least. So I'd kind of go out that direction, see if I can find anything. Kind of stay away from the doorway because Francis is there looking that way, so I go whatever way that Francis can't see. And just see if I can figure out what the hell that is giving me that feeling.
Yep. So you go to where he was looking, and you don't see anything. There's nothing over that way, and you don't feel any more of a sense of dread or overwhelming sensation or shadow. It's the same no matter where you go.
Okay.
So you can make a full arc of the area, and you do find what appears to be scratch marks on some of the buildings, on some of the softer stone.
How big are these scratch marks?
They
Panther
are
size? Kitty cat size?
bigger than panther size, but they're old. They're really old.
Okay.
So it could have been 4 years ago. It could have been 400 years ago.
Right, so... What does insight do?
Helps you discern,
So
comprehend something.
Yeah.
I could kind of discern what that is, couldn't I? If I
Yeah.
did a roll.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a roll and see what that is. See if I can figure it out. 14?
14. So you know that it is, you can identify just from looking at it that these scratch marks aren't some normal beast that made the scratch marks to things around here. You don't know exactly what kind of aberration it was, but it was some sort of actual monster that made these marks into here. A monster that was hunting something and attacking at it, the way it was hitting the walls and stuff.
Okay.
But again, old, you can tell. I mean, you after an insight check, you can easily say it's been probably 20 years since those scratch marks were put in.
All right, so I would just wander around looking for whatever I'm looking for, whatever gives me that feeling, and then, just report back to Francis when I come back the scratch marks that I saw in the buildings, and be like, hey, don't worry about it. They're old though, but.
Yep. While you were wandering around, you did find a well that had some water in it if you need to refill your flasks.
Sounds good. I would refill it then.
Okay.
And let Francis know.
Very cool.
Take over for Francis, and he can look around, because you might have more abilities than I do.
Yeah, I'll go have a look around myself.
Well, I guess I would ask him, do you know of any monsters that would have been wandering this area? Because he knows that kind of stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty good historian. So I assume that you come back and you'll say, I'll watch Hesh and tell him where to find those scratch marks so he can go look at them?
Yeah, and the well.
Okay, and the well. Yep, cool.
Take Hesh's flask, too, and fill that up for him. I guess we could be nice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got in my cush anyway. That's up to you.
I don't think it's your cush. There's something here.
It's not always about you.
Didn't say it was about me. I said it was about my cush.
Yeah, I'll go have a look around, go check out where she saw the scratch marks and see if I can tell what made those. Or
yeah, where are those scratch marks, by the way?
They are about 200 yards from where you guys are camping. So they were a good ways away. Like, not even on that map if we were to draw it.
Okay.
I'll head over there, just taking a look around as I'm going. Seeing if I see anything that just strikes me as off.
Okay, make your roll.
What would it be?
You would probably be an investigation check to check this, to search for things that are off, and then probably an insight check if you want to have better insight into those claws specifically.
That's 17 for the investigation and 9 for the insight.
Okay, so you do find 2 more spots where there are claw marks like that, but you also find some spots where there are some divots into the wall, like swords or spears hit parts of the wall as well. So it looks like a battle had taken place here, but you can't really tell how long ago, and your insight tells you that some of those divots are definitely aged differently than others, just the way that the rock has corroded around it, the way that moss has grown up on some of them. You can just tell that multiple things have happened over the course of several hundred years here. You also find some really nice firewood that you can collect and bring back.
Yeah, I'll head off to the well and fill up my and Hesh's flasks. And
very kind of you.
Then, collect up that firewood and take it back to our little shanty.
Okay. All right.
Our hovel.
Your hovel. All right, so you grab that stuff up and you go back, and Ayda is sitting there watching the perimeter, occasionally glancing back at Hesh, making weird twitches and groans and moans, and he keeps flipping between accents between his northern southern accent and his Ingvald impression and
the old guy.
Yeah. He just keeps flipping between stuff. Saying different random things, but yeah, he's not too loud, and the mule's not so loud that you guys have caution that they might attract something.
Okay.
I'm gonna light a fire in the corner of the little hovel, or should I put the fire at the entrance? No, in the corner, I think.
Okay.
And, Ayda, you go ahead and rest first. You don't need long, do you?
No, just an hour, I'm good.
So you rest first, and then I'll have a sleep after that, and, well, then it'll be morning, hopefully.
Yeah. So you light the fire, you both feel immediately better about your current predicament, like safer in the firelight. you huddle closer to the fire just
I'm keeping my rapier
instinctively.
close.
Yes.
You know, my rapier warning.
Yep.
I'm going to try to conserve wood after I get it lit. Keep it small, but that way we can try to keep it going longer because it's comforting.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Ayda goes to bed first. Francis, go ahead and make 2 checks. One is your survival check to keep the fire going at a good rate. Nope.
That's a 3, I think, for survival.
Okay, and then 1 is your perception check for the feeling of dread.
That's 13.
Okay. All right, so you begin to feel the dread settle in more and more around the campfire as the fire starts to go down, and you try to let it burn low but enough that the light keeps up, just like you had planned. Unfortunately, with winter just around the corner and in the mountains, once it really gets into the throes of night and the sun is completely gone, a heavy wind comes rushing down the mountain and snow begins to fall, and it puts your fire out. So with your dread, you are able to overcome that and take an action. You rolled a 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to overcome that and take an action. What do you want the action to be?
I want to relight that fire. How long has it been?
It's only been about 2 hours after Ayda went to sleep.
So she should be back up
Yeah.
any minute.
Yep, she should be back up any minute.
Francis, did you let the fire go out?
It got windy. Yeah.
A little nippy. I'm glad I
chilly
got
tonight.
this sweater.
It's chilly tonight.
Do I feel that dread too, since obviously I'm awake?
Yeah, now that you're awake, you do feel the dread. And I want a perception roll from you. And let me know if it's above a 10, or actually just let me know what you get.
I'm going to try to relight the fire.
What'd you get for your perception?
14.
Ayda? Okay, so perception, just like him, you're above a 10, so you do not freak out, but you do feel, so you are still able to take actions. And Francis, you go to relight the fire. Go ahead and make a survival check, and then we'll actually cut over to Hesh in his dream state.
10.
A 10? Okay, so you actually ask Ayda to come assist you light the fire. Block the wind, stop the
Give me a
snow.
hand.
Yeah. You
I
both
blow on it.
You both start working on that, and we fade into the dreamscape of Hesh's mind, the place none of us ever wanted to go.
I want to do this as one of his personas, which is his storyteller, which would be LeVar Hurton.
Okay.
Reading Rainbow. The dream. During the night, Hesh had a dream of a great bearing presence looming in the darkness. In the distance, a faint light streaked and was still. He noticed it was captured, held by the great depths of darkness that swelled around it. Though the light was alluring, he had this utter sense that it was truly vanity. There was sheer power in the light, surely a force able to tear through the void itself, but it would never be enough to truly overpower the surrounding black. It was in these depths that Hesh felt it call to him, the great old ones, old with ancient reigns, dating to an instance before the material arose. Theirs was a true power, nothing conceived by feeble minds and impressed onto others. No, theirs was a true morality, birthed in the absence of virtue and in the wake of natural being. They were beyond eternal, and more powerful than creation itself. This was the anchor for which he would become tethered. This power, the calling he would answer during his short existence here, for this was his fate.
And just as Francis gets the spark to light under the fire again, using the warm coals and ashes. He gets the spark with some light parchment that you had in your
A few of my sorry notes.
Yeah, a few of the sorry notes.
Elbow grease.
The ones that you began to write for the students that all got caught on fire. You start to burn a few of the sorry notes that Ayda handed you when she went to give you the
Don't
assist.
need these anymore.
That's kind of ironic.
The rapier of warning. What happens when that gives off the warning? What's the sound that it gives? How does it alert you? It's in your head, right? It's in their head.
Actually, it doesn't say.
I think it's a telepathic thing.
Yeah. In my notes, it doesn't tell me.
It's you make it up. Your world. What is it? What happens in your brain skull when the thing goes off?
So I would have my sword at my hip, and I would feel it start to vibrate and hear a slight hum when danger is approaching.
Okay.
And that is
like a bee buzz, or
just a low hum, like if you really had a silent room, you'd hear your electronics kind of hum. That kind of hum.
Okay.
And
an
that.
elevator.
Let's see.
No one gonna hop on this vibrator of warning?
It's on my hip, yo. And that, let me see, where'd it go? The companions around me within 30 feet can't be surprised except when incapacitated by anything other than non-magical sleep.
Way to go, Hesh.
Yep.
What?
And
So is it vibrating on my hip? Is that what we're saying here now?
yep. So
Also, is Hesh's sleep non-magical?
Hesh's sleep is magical.
Okay.
It is
Magic AF.
magic AF.
I figured, but
So he can be surprised.
Yeah. Alright, so that starts buzzing off on your side and in your brain skull. Francis, you did it. You're the best camper in the world. You got the thing to light in the beginning of a snowstorm to get the fire to relight, and the dread starts to go away as soon as that flame starts to spark back up.
But I don't know what my weapon of warning is. I just stole it.
Yeah, it's the first time this has happened.
Yes. So I don't know what this means. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's a call. It's a call coming in.
I'm gonna start grabbing some rocks
Deny.
and rubble and shit and trying to build a
Jewels.
a little shield around the fire from the wind.
Okay, Ayda, what's your armor class?
15.
Okay.
Unless I was...
Francis, what's your armor class?
16.
So both of you feel a forceful impact hit you square in the chest, but it doesn't do any damage, and it doesn't knock you back or knock you down. And then, Hesh, waking up out of your dream where you are narrating to yourself, I think that's how,
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was born.
Yep.
You feel a tendril wrap around your left leg and yank you straight through, right between where Ayda and Francis were, yank you through the tent that the mule was sitting on. You actually hit the mule and you pop up and, off your butt, and you wake up to yourself just being yanked straight from the campsite and into the dark around the corner where you saw that tendril before. Francis and Ayda, you don't see anything grabbing him. You just see him flying by, screaming.
He screams, just like the fortune woman said!
So, he would be surprised, but we wouldn't, even though I don't know what that is.
Right.
Can we grab him then?
No. And here's a good place to take a break.
Alright.
This concludes this episode of A Fool's Quest. Join us next time for more fun and daring adventure. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, review, and comment on your favorite platform to listen to A Fool's Quest. Villains.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
Nana! Nana!
We'll be back.
Nana, more Hot Pockets.
Nana!
We'll be back.
Nana!
More Hot Pockets.
Go on now.
Nana.
We'll be back.
Yeah, I'll come on in. Oh, what, Nana was it? Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Hey, Francis, go ahead and take a seat. With Nana, where'd you put the table? Nana's getting the kettle on.
I've got the towel on. I'm like, Nana, I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear Lord.
Nana!
Nana.
We'll be back.
Nana.
Nana!
Nana. More Hot Pockets.
Go on now.
We'll be back.
Nana. More Hot Pockets.
Nana!
More Hot Pockets.
Nana, I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear Lord.
Just walked right in. I'm sorry, Nana.